I think Martin Luther King's legacy has a lot to do with the ripple effect and the idea that fighting the small battles are just as important as fighting the larger ones that people see every day.
When I think of MLK's legacy, I think of coalition building. And I think since his death, there have been many groups who've drawn strength from his legacy to build coalitions and bridges for change.
It's that simple idea that all he was asking for was the promises that are written into our Constitution to be applied to everybody.
I think the substance of MLK's legacy is and was his ability to cast a vision for a community in which everybody had a part, in which everybody was valued for the part that they could play, in which everybody had enough and enough was enough.
His legacy is the fact that I'm in the classroom at all, the fact that, that there are African American students and students of color that are in the classroom, and white students who all together examine what he's done, examine African American literature and culture in specific.
He was very motivated by his faith and his family, and there was clearly a desire to see the world change for them, but also a desire to see, and like a need to see the world change for humanity.
Reverend King was able to help us understand that if you live with grace and lead with peace, that incredible things can be accomplished.
He was a source of inspiration because he represented the best of what I consider to be our humanity. He never gave up on people. He always believed that there was a core of goodness.
One of the main legacies of Martin Luther King for me is feeling empathy for others. It's very basic, but I think I felt that empathy at some level when I was in 4th grade and I heard about Martin Luther King and understood Jim Crow for the first time, and that's remained with me.
One of the reasons that I was able to go to New York University was as a result of a scholarship that was named after Martin Luther King Jr. So Dr. King and that scholarship, I think, really changed the trajectory of my life.
I think about the fact that he was my age when he was beginning and when he was really starting to make a movement, and that stuns me. He was also a leader who knew how to talk to allies and make allies and speak to people in a way that made them want to join him and make the movement bigger.
And I feel like Martin Luther King also believed in that social gospel movement, and that he found through his work that he could serve both God and humanity through his activism, his writings, his speeches, his example.
And he knew the threats that he was facing. He knew the boycotts and the protests that would come his way. He knew the hatred that he stood against each and every day he pursued his cause for justice and equality. But yet he persevered. And for that, I truly admire Dr. King.